So I've had a ton of questions about how I made these 3D printed Datsun headlights, so I figured I'd make a video and just go over everything and how I did it. First step was 3D scanning the headlight bucket. To get that headlight design to fit snugly in here, we need to 3D scan this. I used a 3D Evoc scanner. This thing is pretty sick. It's the MT from 3D Evoc, and it is super, super accurate. So then I scanned the headlight bucket, and I scanned back here too because I needed to be able to mount this air hose connector to the OEM light holes. So that sits in there nice and flush. So then after scanning, files go to your computer, and the mesh files go into any of the 3D softwares so you can make your parts. I made this part in 3ds Max. And the reason I use 3ds Max is because there's all these complex curves, which is really, really difficult to build in a software like SolidWorks or Fusion 360. Now this part was made in Fusion 360. And the reason I use Fusion 360 for this part is it's very simple. Just a flat plane, extruded, 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and a cylinder. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. This thing took me like maybe 15 minutes to make. This part took me like hours and hours and hours to get all the curves right. The idea here is that there's gonna be a hose that connects to this, and it's actually gonna funnel to the front brakes. So I know a lot of people probably thought this was for the intake, but this is for brake cooling. I figured I'd make use of this massive air resistance area on this car and use it for greater good, cool those brakes, because this car is going to have a Viper V10, which makes a crap ton of power, which means I need a crap ton of braking power and a crap ton of cooling for those brakes. Now the next question was about 3D printers. Both parts were printed on Bamboo Labs in PLA. The reason I use PLA is because it is super easy to prototype in. So these aren't final parts, these are just test fits. I don't recommend using PLA for outdoor parts that are actually gonna be used because the PLA will just melt. I mean, you put this in the sun and it would just deform in like 10 minutes. The final parts will be printed in ASA, which is a more engineering grade filament and much more resistant to heat. The last and final questions was about the actual headlights and where they're gonna go. So this is actually gonna be a blinker. The hole is for the wire for the blinker to, go to the back. The hole's right there too. The actual headlights are going to be kind of like off-road style single orbs. There's gonna be one there and one there. I would love to be able to fit 3. I think 3 would look really cool, but I think only 2 will fit. I think that's it for all the questions on the 3D printed Datsun headlights. If I missed anything, just put them in the comments and I'll get back to them.